Hi brown girls, welcome back. I'm back just in time for back to school season, and if you're looking to achieve this look using all drugstore products, make sure you stay tuned to watch the whole video, and I have a lot of tips for you. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my Covergirl foundation and just stamp a small amount over the skin. Now that I've already primed it, all I have to do is even out the complexion. So you want to start small. You don't want to add a lot of product at a time because foundation is meant to even your complexion, not to cover every blemish or problem area that you may have. So that may be a common misconception. Sometimes people will just apply a bunch of foundation layer by layer by layer, but you don't realize you're actually caking on the makeup and it's not gonna look too good. The best thing to do is to conceal the area that you might be having a problem with a really small brush or something like that. That way you're completely getting rid of the problem area. So now that I did my foundation, I forgot to start with my lip balm, which I always do. And I'm using this one by Soft Lips, and this one is great because it has SPF 15 in it. These are two of the concealers from the drugstore that I really like. I compare this to one of my high-end concealers that I use under the eyes. I really like that it has a thin formulation and the color is spot on, so it's perfect for under the eyes. And this one is equally as good as that one. I really like this one because it immediately sets under the eyes, and even using a small amount of powder, you won't see it settle into fine lines. And I think it's a really great product. So for today, I'm gonna use this one just so you guys can see how it performs. And it also has a really fun little sponge here where you can apply it. I feel like that's not that hygienic, so what I did was I just popped the sponge off and I kind of just twist off the top, and you'll see the product dispense, and I just put it on my hand. So I've got a little bit of product on the Beauty Blender, and I'm gonna apply that right under the eyes. Now this concealer kind of does it for me, but I've told you guys in the past, this NYX Dark Circle Concealer, if you apply this under your eyes before applying concealer, it'll be great because it completely masks any blueness under your eyes, which is what dark circles really are. So for me, this has enough coverage, but if I was feeling really tired and let's say I didn't sleep the night before, most likely my dark circles would be pretty dark. So I would probably go in with a little bit of that, and you'll see immediately when you put your concealer on top that it completely cancels out the color. One of the powders that I really like is by Rimmel. It's called the Stay Matte Long Lasting Pressed Powder. And whenever I use any kind of coverage on my face, I like to use a translucent powder because you don't want to apply a colored powder that's going to add more pigment to the skin. You can risk oxidizing the foundation on your skin, and also it may look a little heavier and pancakey and very just thick and cakey. So I'm gonna use this fluffy brush that's also from the drugstore. This is by the brand e.l.f. Super inexpensive. I think this was like $3, and it's one of those skunk type brushes, which is basically geofiber. There's different material down here and a softer material up top. So I'm gonna swirl this into the powder and just pick up a little amount of product, dust it off, and I'm gonna apply this under the eyes and on my T-zone. Remember, applying a lot of product is just gonna make your face look really cakey. So everything you do in thin layers will always benefit you because it'll look so much more natural and it'll tackle the issues that you may have with your skin. So moving on to eyebrows, there was a product that I used to use back in high school and college. It was a green thin pencil that reminded me very much of the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and it was by Maybelline. I'll link it down below if you guys want to check that out. But basically it was a pencil, a really good ashy dark brown pencil that I would fill in my eyebrows with, and it had a little brush on the end that looked really dinky, but it actually did the job. So what I would do is apply the product and then I would just blend it out with the brush, and it came out looking really good. I thought I had one still on me, but I guess I didn't. So today I'm just going to use the IT Cosmetics one, and this should do the job. So now, because of those long sleepless nights, you may want something to really brighten up your eyes. I really like this nude eyeliner from Rimmel. I find that it stays in the waterline a really long time. And the reason why I'm using nude and not white is because naturally, although the whites of our eyes are white, with my skin tone, if I was to put white in my waterline, it would just look like I actually just put white in my waterline. With this, it's deceiving and it provides kind of like an illusion. So if someone was to look at you, they would immediately just think you looked very bright-eyed and you had a full 8 to 10 hours of sleep the night before. But unless they looked really hard, then they would see that you applied this in your waterline. With the white, you could clearly see that it's there. I would definitely recommend a nude color because it just looks more natural and it just kind of blends with everything else in your face. So now for the cheeks. I always like applying a highlighter, and I found this one by L'Oreal, the True Match Lumi. Again, it's the same line as the primer, and it does a really amazing job at glowing up the skin. So I'm going to use this Real Techniques blush brush and applying this on the high points, and as you can see, that immediately gave me such a pretty glow. So with blush, I really like these ones from NYX. I think they're super pigmented. So because I have a little bit of pink in my shirt, I want to use something with a little bit of pink. And since I have tanner skin tone, I want to use something that'll actually show up. So I'm using this one called Mocha. It's a really pretty color. Oh, and I did want to mention, if you guys are into contouring, I know I barely had any time in the morning before school. I would try to get out of the door as soon as possible and get every single minute of sleep that I possibly could get. But if you guys wanted to contour, that's an option. And I have it in the color WS03 Deep. I really like this contour shade. It's warm enough, but it's not orange. So that's what I really like about it, and it's cream, so it blends really nicely into the skin. As you can see, that shade is really pretty, and it'll go for someone that's a little bit lighter than me as well as someone who's darker than me, depending on how much product you use. I'm gonna skip that today because I just feel like I want to go with a fresh look, and I really don't want that much definition, but I think this is a great option. It blends really well, so as you're blending in your foundation, you could easily just use a sponge and blend out the contour. So again, this is the NYX Wonder Stick. Okay, so now that the face is completed, I'm gonna move on to the eyes. Also, I did a post about eyeliners and experimenting with them. I really like just using different textures and colors just to create different types of looks on your eyes and also change the shape of your eyes. So if you guys haven't checked it out and you want to take a look at it, I'll post it down below in the description bar, and you can see all the different ways along with some pictures on how I apply different colored eyeliners. So I think that's a fun way to kind of play with your makeup. So if you wanted to leave the eyes right here, you could easily do that. I found this cream eyeshadow that is amazing. It's called the Covergirl Bombshell Shine Shadow, and I really like this one. Another one that I really like is the Maybelline Tattoo. That one is kind of similar to the MAC paint pots, if you're familiar with those. Those are really great as well, but I thought these were really fun because they come in a bunch of different colors, and it's nice because it just comes in a small little squeeze tube, and I have a copperish color. As you can see, it's very blendable, so I'm just going to put a little on my finger, no brushes, and apply this right onto the lid. And it's just going to give me a really pretty shine. Not a lot of color, but it does have a little bit of a copper color. So although it's like the same color as my skin tone or similar, all you're really gonna see is a little touch of color with some shine on it. So it's gonna really bring a little bit of attention to the eyes and make it look really pretty. So one trick I like using with creams is I'll apply the cream with one finger and blend out the other finger. So it's not like a bunch of product is kind of packing onto my eye. So as you can see, I use my middle finger to apply and my ring finger to blend. So, and periodically I'll wipe it on my hand if I wanted to. So now just applying the rest of this on the other eye. And I'm also going to apply a little bit of this on the tear duct area, because it has a perfect amount of sheen, and that also gives you a nice awake look. Applying a little bit of highlight right in that area over there. This area tends to get really dark, especially if you have dark circles, so brightening the area is definitely a plus point. So now that the cream eyeshadow is done, these are great because they kind of just dry down completely, and you don't even have to worry about creasing or anything like that. So that makes it super easy. You don't have to worry about applying a primer, then an eyeshadow, and then kind of going from there. So now that we have the eyeshadow done, if you wanted to and you had a powder bronzer and you wanted to use bronzer, let's say, and dust a little bit on, all you have to do is use a small brush and use that same bronzer in your crease, and that'll immediately define your eyes without having to pull out another eyeshadow. So that's a really cool trick as well. Now that my eyeshadow is done, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my mascara and my eyeliner. The Voluminous Mascara Carbon Black by L'Oreal. This one is one of my favorite mascaras. I always repurchase this, and I think it's one that's never just gonna, unless they discontinue it, which I'll be really sad about, but I don't think they will. And then for eyeliner, this one is literally one of the favorites that I found at the drugstore. It lasts all day long. It's so easy to use. It has a really thin tip, and it reminds me a lot of the Stila Stay All Day eyeliner, which I really love too. And the color is really black, so I'm super impressed with this one, and I always carry one in my bag and one at home, just a couple of them because they're just that great. guys, now that the eyes are completed, all I did was apply my eyeliner, and I did a little bit, not really much of a wing, but just a little flick on the end. And I also did want to mention on the cheeks, as I was doing my eyeliner, I noticed that I had a nice glow going on. If those of you may have problematic issues on your skin where you have larger pores and you don't want to highlight them, obviously a shimmer will highlight them. I really like the Milani matte blushes. This is in the color Coral Cove. It's a super pigmented blush and it lasts all day and it's completely matte. So if you guys are looking for a matte option, here's the perfect option for you. So moving on to lips. Now I don't want to go too crazy on my lips. One of the items that I really like for just like an everyday thing, I remember when I was in school, I would just want to rub something on my lips and just keep it moving. I was not too concerned with holding up a mirror and perfectly applying lip liner and things like that. I really like these Coral Riche lip balms by L'Oreal. They're really perfect. I have this peachy color, and I'll put it on just so you guys can see. It adds a perfect amount of shine and sheen to your lips with a little hint of color. So that makes it really easy. Now, if you wanted to bump it up, let's say you had an occasion or a presentation or something like that, you wanted to use something that's a little bit long lasting, so you don't have to worry about it. I really like the Le Matte pencils. These are really cool and they're easy to just mark onto your lips. So I'm gonna apply it right over the lip balm just so you can see that although it's a bold color, I can just make it a really soft pink. So just applying it in the middle. And what I'll do is just blend it with my finger. So that, as you can see, gives me an instant little pop of pink on the lips. It looks fresh, it looks great with the look, and also it looks very youthful. So that's what I like to achieve as well. The whole matte lip liner trends are really huge right now. Some of them that I really like are the Rimmel lip liners. The NYX lip liners are really great too. What you could do is in the beginning when you apply the lip balm, kind of dab it off, apply the matte lip liner as a lipstick. So just rub it all over your lips, line your lips, and make sure it's evenly dispersed on your lips. And then you could top it off with a lip balm, just dabbing a lip balm on. You could put a gloss over it, or you can leave it as is. It's all up to you. Or you can just use a matte lipstick. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. I really like the pop of pink on the lips. I think it looks really cute, really fresh, and it's something a little less basic. Also, they do have the gloss version of these, and I have this one in a nude color. I have a couple other colors, and I really like them. I think they're just super easy as a pen crayon type thing to just rub all over your lips. So another one of my favorites are the NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams. These are amazing. They have a really high pigmentation. They have a doe foot applicator, and they apply so nicely on the skin, or sorry, on the lips. And they have the perfect amount of pigmentation. They come in loads and loads of colors. The color that I have here is San Paulo. So yeah, this one is really, really great too. So just throw in your bag. Okay, and the last finishing touch is a makeup setting spray by L'Oreal. It's called the Infallible Pro Spray and Set. So just to keep everything in place. And the best thing I would recommend for school is that you carry those blotting sheets. Applying more product after this, especially if you get oily or greasy and you notice that you feel like your makeup might move or anything like that, the best thing to do is just blot it off, because what it does is it gets rid of the oil, but it doesn't get rid of the makeup. Once you apply more powder on top of oil, not only are you transferring bacteria, but you're also taking on the makeup, because you already have this layer of oil on the surface of your makeup, and then you're applying more product on top. So if you think about it that way, you'll kind of shy away from it, and definitely use the blotting papers. So this is a look completed. It's a very young, fresh, just easy routine that you can find with accessible products. So I hope you guys learned something. Not to say that this is just a back to school look. It's definitely perfect for anyone going to school or starting a new job, or someone that just wants something that's really fresh, really easy products to acquire and takes little or no time. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and make sure to follow me on all my social media down below. I'll link everything, as well as all the products that I use. I'll also list a few products that maybe I haven't talked about and that I still recommend for the same purpose of each step that I have performed on my face. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel, Brown Girl Magazine, as well as my channel. I'll have it linked down below, and I'll have a lot more beauty for you guys. So until next time, bye. And for all of you Brown Girl readers and viewers out there, Karuna Chani is doing a special masterclass in the city. So if you're located in the tri-state area, make sure you check out the details. You can pause the video here and make sure you're using the special code for some money off of the class. I hope you guys enjoy, and until next time, bye!